You wake up. Your head is pounding. You don't know where you are. The last thing you remember was accepting a drink from a friendly stranger at a bar in Milwaukee. You look around. The room smells wrong. Like bleach. And something else you don't want to think about. There's a fish tank in the corner. A padlocked door. And a very cheerful man in the kitchen humming to himself. Congratulations. You have found yourself in apartment 213, Oxford Apartments, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And your host? Jeffrey Dahmer. Don't panic. Well, actually, panic a little. But first, let me explain exactly how you got here, and why today is going to be the worst day of your life. Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer. Born May 21, 1960. Serial killer. Sex offender. And somehow one of the most eerily polite murderers in American history. Between 1978 and 1991, Dahmer murdered 17 men and boys. He didn't just kill them, he drugged them, strangled them, and in many cases kept their remains as souvenirs. But today we're not telling his story. We're telling yours. Because you, my friend, made the mistake of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. And now you're in apartment 213. So buckle up. This is how the next few hours play out. Let's rewind. You were at a bar, club, or shopping mall. Dahmer wasn't picky about locations. He was charming, soft-spoken, and normal-looking. That was his superpower. He offered you a drink. Maybe two. What you didn't know was that Dahmer had dissolved sleeping pills, sometimes up to 7, into that drink. Within 20 minutes, your legs stopped working. He told the people around you that you were his drunk friend. He helped you into a taxi. Smiled at the driver. Paid the fare. Very polite. Very methodical. This is what made Dahmer so dangerous. There were no red flags until it was far, far too late. And that brings us to right now. You're awake. The drugs are wearing off. And Dahmer is in the kitchen making coffee. Because apparently he's still going to be a gracious host while also being a serial killer. Let's talk about where you are. Because apartment 213 is not just a place. It's a carefully constructed nightmare disguised as a normal one-bedroom flat. The living room looks fine, actually. A couch. A TV. A fish tank with 2 exotic fish that Dahmer genuinely loved. He was weirdly caring about those fish. The kitchen is where Dahmer spent a lot of his time, and we're going to leave it at that for now. The bedroom has a mattress, which you're currently sitting on, and a large blue barrel in the corner. Do not open the blue barrel. I'm serious. Don't do it. And then, there's the freezer. Again, don't. Here's the thing about Dahmer's apartment. Neighbors complained about the smell constantly. The building manager got complaints. Even the police visited once. But Dahmer always had an explanation. Dead fish. Spoiled meat from the fridge. He was convincing enough that people believed him. In May 1991, just months before his arrest, a 14-year-old boy actually escaped from this apartment. Neighbors called the police. Dahmer told the officers the boy was his adult boyfriend and they'd had a lover's quarrel. The officers left. The boy did not survive. So just in case you were hoping someone would come save you, keep in mind that even the police left last time. Here's the uncomfortable truth about Dahmer. He wasn't driven purely by violence. He was driven by loneliness. A deeply disturbing, pathological loneliness. Dahmer fantasized about having companions who could never leave him. That's the chilling core of his crimes. In his twisted mind, he wanted connection. He would later tell investigators that he drilled holes into some victims' skulls and poured in acid, attempting to create a zombie-like state, not because he was purely sadistic, but because he wanted someone who would stay. So right now, sitting across from you with a cup of coffee, Dahmer is actually trying to be pleasant. He might offer you food. He might make small talk. He might seem completely normal. And that, frankly, is the most terrifying part. Okay, let's talk survival. Because unlike some of Dahmer's victims, a few people did get away. Tracy Edwards managed to escape in July 1991, and he's the reason Dahmer was finally caught. He kept Dahmer talking for 5 hours. 5 hours. He stayed calm, built a fake sense of rapport, and waited for the right moment to run. He didn't fight. He didn't scream. He talked. And the moment Dahmer was distracted, he bolted out the front door and flagged down a police car. So your survival strategy? Keep Dahmer calm. Keep him talking. Don't show fear. Wait for any opportunity, a phone call, a knock at the door, a moment of distraction, and make your move. Of course, this is easier said than done when the person you're trying to keep calm has a collection of Polaroids in his bedroom drawer that you absolutely should not think about right now. Stay focused. Stay calm. You've got this. Probably. On July 22, 1991, it all ended. Tracy Edwards escaped, flagged down police officers Rolf Mueller and Robert Roth, and led them back to the apartment. Dahmer initially tried to talk his way out of it, as he always did. But when officers discovered the Polaroid photos and the contents of the apartment, even the most skeptical cop knew they were standing in something historic. Dahmer was arrested. He confessed to 17 murders. He was sentenced to 16 consecutive life terms in prison. In 1994, he was killed by a fellow inmate, Christopher Scarver, in the prison gym. The Oxford Apartments building was demolished in 1992. Nobody wanted to live there. Shockingly. You survived a POV in Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment. Barely. But you made it. The case of Jeffrey Dahmer remains one of the most studied in criminal psychology history, not because of the brutality, but because of how normal he appeared. How he slipped through the cracks, again and again, until it was too late for 17 people. If there's one takeaway from today's video, beyond don't accept drinks from strangers in Milwaukee, it's that evil doesn't always look like evil. Sometimes it looks like a quiet guy with a fish tank and very good manners. If you made it to the end of this video, you're clearly a person of culture and questionable taste. Hit subscribe. New videos every week, each one more cursed than the last. I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe out there.